what's the one piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you were starting out?
Thanks, Dave. Really happy to be here today. I think this is one of these questions that there's so many pieces of advice I would give now that, I'm further along in my career. I think the one thing that I was always like a little bit shy about when I was younger was really asking others for advice. I kind of saw it as a little bit a sign of weakness, I would say, or I wanted to be the smartest person in the room. But actually, as you go through your career, you learn that there's so much value from asking other people. What's more, like asking other people are really interested to give their advice. People like it. I mean, it's the reason why I'm here today, right? I want to kind of share what I know with other people, and so it kind of has that benefit of kind of bringing different perspectives, giving you more rounded solutions. But the further thing I would say that's great about that is it starts to build your network. And when you're kind of early in your career, building your network's really important. And then that kind of network is something that just kind of multiplies. I'm still in contact with people that I was working with 20 years ago, people who were my advisors back then. We're in different stages of our career, and that kind of network just kind of expands. So ask for advice. It makes your solutions better. It makes other people happy that they're giving advice, and then it helps you build your network.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that made a significant impact?
Yeah, this one, it's a really really interesting question. As I think about significant impact, the immediate thing I want to go to is business results. I delivered 100 million here, or $1 billion here, or whatever it is. I'm thinking of like business outcomes. But the thing that kind of I'm really kind of coming back to is some personal decisions or kind of pivot points that have made really a long-lasting impact. And for me, it's really about my personal agency and learning that I have that. So kind of going back to, this is kind of really early in my career. I joined an advertising agency that was based in London. I'm from London originally. I thought joining that agency, maybe I can get to New York, because New York was my dream back then, right? And so I joined this agency, worked with them for 2 years, made all the contacts in New York, made the transition. And that day that I moved from London to New York, achieving that kind of personal ambition, for me, that was a real pivot point, because what it proved to me is I have agency, I am in control of what happens to me, and I can kind of choose the direction of my future. And so, there was that one point, but from there, what's happened? After a few years, I love New York. I wanted to move to Asia. I moved over to Asia. I was working in advertising agencies. I wanted to move into consulting. I moved into management consulting firms. I loved the work I was doing in management consulting, wanted to run my own business. I started my own business. I matured. I have family. I want to move back to the UK. I moved back to the UK, and all of that came from that point, I would say, early on, learning that things don't have to happen to me. I can drive and set the direction of my own career.
Brilliant, amazing. And I think lower points within that as well, Dominic, I think what you've done there for yourself is set clear goals. You've had a view and something that you wanted to achieve, and then you've set a headline goal, and then you've really, really driven and gone on to achieve that. And to have a goal of going to New York and achieve that within 2 years of moving into a role in an organization is a phenomenal achievement. And then to replicate that and continue that, that goal setting and journey is brilliant. I think it's really good advice for anyone out there.
Yeah, and there's a couple of red threads to my career. Every career has a red thread. Sometimes you figure out what the red thread was afterwards. Like, I wouldn't have this path, but there's probably two really strong red threads to my career. One is like the type of work that I've done, which is sort of digital data. I was a data scientist. I worked in digital. I now lead digital innovation for MSD globally. So there's this kind of red thread of the work that I do. But the other red thread is following my passion and making lifestyle choices. So I've enjoyed the journey as well. So that's, living in New York, which was something I wanted to do. Living in Asia is something I wanted to do. running my own business was a dream of mine, and I did it. Moving back to the UK with my family, being closer to my parents is something that's been really important for me as well. So those two red threads of kind of the work that I wanted to do and the work that I'm passionate about, along with the lifestyle that I wanted to live and how I wanted to live my life, those are the things that have kind of really run through. But knowing that I had agency and I could control that, that's the pivot, I think.
How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
All right, so this one is, I'd have to say it took me a long time to learn. I kind of earlier in my career, I'd often get frustrated. Like I wasn't getting the promotion that I wanted, or the company was doing something that, I didn't believe the company should do, or my client was making bad decisions. I get really I face kind of a lot of frustration. What kind of happened is I got some really good coaching around this, and this is, how I see setbacks now. The coaching really was really simple. It's like, whatever you're facing now, you're going to face that again. So let's treat this as a learning opportunity. And so that kind of reframing of whatever the problem is, I'm not being promoted, my boss isn't recognizing me, I've done a project, it's failed, all of these things, they happen over and over again. And having that reframing of this is a learning opportunity, learn how to deal with it, you'll be better at doing it next time. That's how I approach any setback, any issue that I have now, about reframing, thinking it's a learning opportunity. Now I'm a little bit further in my career. There's the confidence that looking back, actually I faced these things before, we've overcome them, it'll be all right. And then also kind of reframing a little bit the negativity that, actually in the grand scheme of things, maybe it's not such a bad thing after all, and life is still good. So that's really it. Setbacks for me, it's just all around their learning opportunities. You're going to succeed. You've done it before, and in the big scheme of things, it's not that bad.